I draw my original artwork in an 8.5 by 11 sketch pad. So many of the elements have to be reduced in size and combined with other elements to create the final product. Preparation for placing the artwork onto the axehead involves tracing a appropriate sized image of the original artwork. Here you see the artwork drawn with a soft lead pencil onto the transfer paper. The artwork is now transferred to the axehead by flipping over the transfer paper image and retracing the artwork yet again to push the graphite from the image onto the white axehead. You can see that the image has been accurately transferred to the axehead, but it is not dark enough to survive the multiple etchings in ferric chloride acid that are to come. So for a third time, I need to retrace or redraw the image to darken it onto the axehead. I now employ the same techniques previously seen to place different artwork onto the opposite side of the axehead. This work was done off camera. With artwork now successfully transferred to both sides of the axe, I'm now ready to begin preparation for the etching process. Preparing the axe head for the first ferric chloride bath involves painstakingly scraping away all of the paint from the background of the artwork. Think of removing the paint from what would be the sky in the image on both sides. At this point, I'm also preparing my maker's mark for transfer onto the bottom of the axe head in order to permanently identify this piece as an original Gilded the Gilded Hilt product. I'm now carefully removing white paint residue with a Q-tip and nail polish remover. Because I cannot use nail polish remover close to the image I want to remain painted, you see me using a hard eraser to remove the white residue very close to the image. I'm finally ready for the first etching cycle. I like to heat my ferric chloride to between 90 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That's why you see me placing it upon a coffee warmer. It's important to remove sludge created by the ferric chloride etching partway through each etching cycle. Now that the first cycle of the etching process is complete, I remove the axe from the ferric chloride and neutralize the acid in a mixture of baking soda and water. At this stage, it is once again important to remove the sludge left behind by the ferric chloride etching. This is done off camera through thorough scrubbing before I begin the second etching process. Through etching, a fine layer of steel has now been removed from all of the background on the axe image. Preparation for the second etching cycle begins by removing the paint from what I decided is the farthest back portion of my artwork. You'll note that I'm removing paint from the mountains that appear in the background of my artwork. These paint removal steps between each cycle of the etching process are by far the most time-consuming portion of this process. It has taken me approximately a week to do all of the paint removal steps in etching for this project. The rest of them will be done off camera to save you the pain that I went through in doing them. The axe is now ready for its second etching cycle in ferric chloride bath. This project is done in cycles in order to create the three-dimensional look I'm looking for in my final product. The next portion of this video will show the before and after shots of the next 7 to 8 etching cycles in this project. With the etching of my artwork complete and hand sanding done off camera, it's now time to blacken the image. This process highlights all the shadows in a three-dimensional image that I created through multiple etching. Here's a look at the finished product.